Okay, now it's time to show you how to extract data from a table using Selenium. So the code we wrote so far opens a website and then clicks on the All Matches button. So it opens this website and then clicks on this button. But now we want it to scrape this data too. So usually when you have to extract data from tables, you will see that tables use tag names that are tr or td. Those represent the rows here. You can see the rows and the data inside the rows. So for example, tr is going to be this first row and td is going to represent the data on each column. So td1 it's going to be the data on the first column, td2 on the second, and so on. So let's see if this table works in this way. So to find out, let's inspect the website. So first right click and then click on inspect. And now we get the code behind this table. And as you can see here, we got this TD because we inspected this name. And we got the second element in the first row. So we have TD and it's the second TD. Also, here we have 4 TD elements. Here are the first, the second, the third, and the fourth. And all of them have a common parent node, which is this TR. So this is the parent node of these TD elements. So as you can see, this table is built with this TR and TD tags. So this is how most websites build tables. So now I'm going to show you how to scrape these kind of tables. So let's go back to PyCharm. And here what we're going to do is to find elements by tag names. So we write driver dot find element by tag name. So here inside we write the tag name. So back to the browser here, and the tag name, as you can see here, is tr. So we have only to copy this tr, and here I'm gonna write tr. So if we run this code, what we're gonna see is that Python is gonna return just one element, because this find element by tag name just locates one element. But here on the website, we can see that we don't want just one element, because here there are many rows and we want all the rows here. So we want Selenium to locate all the tr elements, so all the rows. So if we want to locate multiple elements with the same class name or tag name, we have to use elements in plural here. So instead of just writing find element by tag name, we add the s to find multiple elements. So with this, we're gonna get all the elements with the tr tag name. But one important thing that you have to know is that when you use find elements in plural, you also get a list. And in most cases, we have to loop through it later. So I'm gonna show you this, but first I'm gonna create a new variable named matches, and I'm gonna set equal to this code. Now to get the data inside this matches list, we have to loop through the list. So we write for match in matches colon, and inside this for loop we have to write match and that text. So this that text will return the text of that element. So with this, we're gonna get these words instead of code, because so far the matches list only have the raw response that we get from the website. But with that text, we get the data we want. So now I'm gonna print this to show you how it looks like. And now it's time to run this script. So I'm gonna right click and then I'm going to click on run to see Selenium in action. So now it opened a browser, it clicked on this button, and now it should be scraping all the data. So let's go back here, and yeah, as you can see here, Selenium is scraping the data row by row, and it's printing each of them. Now, there are around 700 rows, and Selenium scraped it in a decent amount of time. So now let's verify the data. So the first row is Fulham 0, Arsenal 3, and let's go back to the browser to see if that's correct. And yeah, that's the first row. And now let's check the last row. So it's Wolf 1, Man United 2. And let's see here too. And yeah, this is the same data. So Selenium successfully scraped the tables. Now, one little detail here is that all the data is contained in one variable. So this is okay, that's fine, but if you later want to store that in a data frame, you're gonna get one column with all this data. And then you have to use some Python techniques like regular expressions to put each data in different columns. So if we want to avoid this, we can store each data inside a variable. So for example, we can create a list for this date, then another list for the home team, another for the result, and one for the away team. So let's do this. So first I'm gonna create empty lists. So I write date equal to square brackets. These square brackets represent empty lists. And now I'm gonna duplicate this 3 times. So here I'm gonna write home team. Here I'm gonna write the score or the result, and here away team. So we have the lists. Now we need to scrape the data. So instead of doing match.text, we can scrape the TD elements inside the TR. So let me show you here in the browser. I'm gonna quit this browser. And now in the original window we had before, here we can see that each TR has these 4 TDs as I mentioned before. So here we have 1 TR and 1 TD for the day, then the home team, score, and the away team. So if we want to get this TD element, we have to write TD and then add square brackets. It's like indentation. And inside the square brackets, we add the number of the TD element. So if it's the first, we write 1, the second 2, the third 3, and the fourth 4. This is different from Python because indentation in Python starts with 0, but when we work with XPath, we have to start with 1. So let me show you here. We're not going to use here tag name, but we're going to use XPath. So let me show you. I'm going to press Control F or Command F. And now I'm going to write /tr. So this is how you locate these tr elements. Before we located with tag names, but we can also do it with XPath. So as you might remember, to locate with XPath, you write / and then the tag name, in this case tr. So if I navigate here, we get all the rows. Now, if we want to get the TD inside this tr, we only have to write / because we want the immediate child nodes, and then we have to write TD. So I'm going to write TD. So now we have here all the TD elements. So if we navigate, we go one by one. And now let me show you how to get only the date. So as I said before, if we want only the date, we write square brackets and then we write number 1 because it's on the first column. So if I navigate here, now it only goes through each date, as you can see here. And if I change for number 3, we only get the scores. So this is what we're going to do. So now I'm going to copy this and now back to PyCharm. So I'm going to minimize this one and now I'm going to change this code. So I'm going to write here match find element by XPath. So as you can see here, we're not using driver find element by XPath anymore because we want to use this match context. So we want to have this as a reference for our XPath. So if we want to use that match context, you have to write match instead of driver. And then in the XPath, you have to write the $sign because the $sign specifies that you want to use the current context. And then we have to build the XPath. So we write / and then TD. So as you might remember, I copied the XPath and I'm going to paste it here. And I'm going to just add quotes to compare. So here we have /tr. This is this expression. And then this TD, it's what you can see here. So I only included this stat to replace the whole code here. Hope that makes sense. And now I'm gonna add the square brackets to locate the first element, which is for dates. So now to get the text, I'm gonna write that text. And now I'm gonna duplicate this 3 times, and I'm just going to change the data inside the square bracket. So 1, 2, 3, and here 4. And now I'm gonna store each of them in a list. So this one corresponds to the date list. So I'm gonna write date, and then I'm gonna use the append method to store this data into this list. So we have this text here that represents the date, and we're going to append this inside the date list. Now we do the same for the home team. So I write home team, append, parentheses, score, append, parentheses, and finally away underscore team, append, and finally parentheses. But now to see how the process is going, I'm gonna print one of these elements. So I'm gonna copy this one, and now I'm gonna create a new element called home, equal to that. And now I'm going to replace this for home. Next, I'm going to print the home variable. So this is useful to see how the scraping process is going, and also helps to debug code. So now it's time to run this script. So I'm gonna right click and then click on run. And let's see what happens. So now a browser was opened. And now Selenium, click on this button. And now it's supposed to be scraping the data. So let's go here. And it's scraping that data one by one. So this could take a little bit of time, so I'm gonna stop the process with this red button. I just don't want to make this video so long. And that's it. On the next video, I'm gonna show you how to store all this data inside a data frame.